Hello everyone, welcome to the May 13th, 2018 edition of the Astrology News Report. I'm your intrepid host, Ron Berger. In this segment, we'll take a look at the upcoming planetary patterns and predictions. What's on the celestial agenda for May 13th to May 20th and beyond. But before beginning, let me remind viewers to please help out covering the costs of keeping this weekly report going. A few of you have been supporting the Astrology News Report, but sadly, most of you have not. Watch for the link at the end of the video to make your donation. Venus changes signs and enters sidereal Gemini on Monday, May 14th. It's the planet of harmony and compromise in the sign of consensus, which is good for coming to agreement. Gemini is the most dual of the zodiac signs, able to see things from opposing points of view. This makes Gemini adaptable and diplomatic. As the planet of romance, Venus wants harmony. So this is good, but like everything, there's a potential downside. Gemini has a hard time coming to decision. In other words, Gemini can be fickle. So, sometimes this combination goes nowhere. This Venus in Gemini problem of having difficulty finding closure becomes even more difficult as Venus progresses through Gemini because lurking on the other side of the zodiac is Saturn, the planet of limitation, delay, and harsh reality. Saturn is even more intractable than usual because it is retrograde. Venus will be exactly opposite Saturn on May 25th. Since Venus is the planet of finance and Saturn is limitation, this arrangement signals a downward trend for the financial markets. Venus stays in Gemini until June 8th, when it then enters Cancer. The new moon will be on Tuesday, May 15th, at 0 degrees Taurus in the sidereal zodiac. This new moon initiates the Hindu lunar month of Jyeshtha, named for the lunar sign of that name, where the full moon normally falls at this time of the year, except that this year the full moon will fall in the previous nakshatra, Anuradha, on May 29th. Therefore, the energy of Anuradha indicates the energy of the month. Anuradha is an organizer, bringing people together for the purpose of achieving a goal. This new moon has a special signification in the Hindu religion. It is Shani Jayanti, a major spiritual day which celebrates the birth of Shani, that is, the god of the planet Saturn. Saturn is the major natural malefic planet in Vedic astrology, so it makes sense to propitiate Saturn on his birthday, like getting up at dawn and chanting a mantra for Saturn. Saturn is the planet of time and work. Best way to cooperate with Saturn is to be patient and slowly work your way to your goal. Jupiter has been retrograde in Libra since early March. Neptune went into Aquarius back in 2009. This week, Jupiter, in retrograde motion, moves into position to be sending a tight trine aspect to Neptune. The exact trine is on May 24th, with the two planets at 22 degrees of their respective signs. Since both planets are moving slowly, this aspect has been functional for a while now, and continues to remain in effect for several more weeks. The trine aspect of Jupiter is the energy of encouragement. Jupiter is the planet of beliefs. Neptune is the planet of dreams. Thus, Jupiter adds confidence and encouragement for everyone to have faith in their fantasies. Obviously, this is not going to promote realism. An example of this is the current high expectations for the Trump-Kim summit, expecting North Korea to just give up and throw away the nuclear weapons they have spent the last 50 years developing is a total U.S. fantasy. Meanwhile, the planet of realism, Saturn, is retrograde in Jupiter's sign Sagittarius. So, by the rule of dispositorship, Saturn's energy gets sent to Jupiter, which should help to make Jupiter more realistic. But the question is, how much of this realism gets transferred to Neptune? Another interesting item: Jupiter is the planet of judgment, law, and justice. Jupiter is retrograde, in other words, going back over the past, seeking truth and justice. Jupiter is also being held back from its normal forward motion in the zodiac, thus delayed justice. So, progress in the Trump-Russia investigation is slow, but not for too much longer. Jupiter retrograde ends on July 10th. The Mars-Uranus square pattern, which has been functioning ever since Mars entered Capricorn on May 2nd, is exact, or near exact, for most of this week. The exact square is on Monday, Tuesday, May 14th, 15th, while the two planets are at 5 degrees of their respective signs. The 90-degree square aspect, or mutual kendra, as it is called in Vedic astrology, is one of the most dynamic energy patterns. But it's not a smoothly functioning arrangement, especially when the participating planets are natural malefics, in other words, capable of causing harm. This pattern can produce rather unpleasant events. In this case, we have Mars, planet of force, conflict, war, and destruction, in a relationship with Uranus, planet of sudden unexpected events, freedom and rebellion, and therefore disruption. Obviously, this is highly problematic, and already we've seen some of the results, both in the world of human activities as well as in the natural world. The Mars square Uranus energy pattern continues to function for several months because Mars will be staying in Capricorn until November. At the end of this month, the aspect is less than exact and therefore not as intense. Later in the year, when Mars is retrograde, it will re-establish a powerful square aspect to Uranus. And now it's time for my little pitch for donations. If you appreciate what this YouTube channel does for you, please help support it and me by visiting the donation page and making a contribution. Just click on or touch the donation card you see here. Thanks, and until next week.